Hi everyone! Today is just a quick fun video, maybe not so quick, of me doing a DIY to an existing clock that I had found in a box since we moved here, so I had to use it, of course. The shape of it wasn't quite right. It's meant for a desk, I think, but I really didn't have any space on shelves or on my desk, so I decided I was going to take matters into my own hands and I was going to see what I could do. So you see, I started with the screwdriver and I opened the clock and I took off the little fake alarm bells and then the feet. And then I had the ring off and everything was going awesome. I was even able to make the hands of the clock a deeper shade of teal instead of silver and make it much easier for me to see from a distance. See, my plan was to have the clock now hanging above my craft room closet door, and that would be quite a ways away for me. I used a Copic sketch marker BG49 and it turned out really pretty. Much easier to see now. Everything was really going super well. I was very excited. It really was going faster than I had thought, and I thought for sure I was going to have an excellent video to upload. But then something really bad happened. Can you imagine what I was feeling at that moment when I was holding this glass? This is everything. This had all the numbers. Without it was just a cardboard cutout of Hello Kitty. This was very upsetting. And I about stopped everything right there and then because I thought, this is not going well anymore and I gotta scrap this whole project. But then I thought, what am I thinking? This is an even better DIY idea. You just can't keep a Jersey girl down. I'm telling you, we are a special breed. We've got what my husband calls grit. My friends, when things go wrong and you're a crafter or you're doing anything with your children or anything in life, just press on. Voiceovers are hard. So now I'm improvising what I thought was going to be a simple remodel of a clock that existed with all its parts. And that took some time to figure out what I was going to do now. You see, I took pictures of the clock and in various stages so to make the video. But thankfully, since I had those pictures, I was able to pick out the exact or similar colored cardstock because now I had to make numbers. This turned into a way bigger job. But it worked out. I was able to find all the colors of cardstock that I needed to match the numbers in the actual piece of glass that sadly broke as I was cleaning it. Don't you hate it when that happens? It wasn't good. In any event, I was able to find all the colors that I wanted to make the numbers to be and undo the big mistake I had made. Yellow, orange, blue. Maybe not that blue. Some of you who have been on my channel for some time know that I have been doing quite a bit of watercolor painting, and I've been learning a lot about value and tone, and that really helped me to realize that that blue that I picked out, although it was beautiful, wasn't quite the blue I needed for this. And then I introduced a lower value blue suited this project much better, and I found just what I needed. When I checked the reference photo, I thought, this one's a winner. Salmon, blue, yellow, and a little bit of a light orange too. I had found all the colors I needed. You know, this is a really great opportunity to speak about why I'm so anti-destash, especially when it comes to tools. You know, when I started this DIY, it was going to be something completely different. But because that glass broke on me when I was cleaning it, the whole project shifted. It became something far more involved, and I needed to reach into my stash and take out some good old hardy tools that I had from my card making days. Now, I haven't made a card in, gosh, a year plus. And if I would have parted with my tools or my cardstock or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to fix the problem that was at hand now. So you see, I'm just not a fan of getting rid of things like tools and things that you could use for other things. I have grandchildren, and they love to play with me and do crafts. So Just be really careful when you're thinking about destashing. Make sure it's not something that you really enjoy using or could be handy for another project. So as you see here, I have the Tim Holtz Vagabond 2, which is made by Sizzix, and it is an excellent die cutting machine. Now, I've had a history with die cutting machines. I started with the Sizzix Big Shot, the green pretty version with all the little flowers. I just fell in love with it. In fact, I didn't even make cards. When I saw that machine cut things, I had to have it. I know that doesn't make much sense, but that's how my brain works. It doesn't usually make sense most of the time. In any event, I started with Sizzix and the Big Shot. And then I decided I was getting a little bit more involved and wanted to try one of the electronic die cutting machines. Then I went to the Brother Scan and Cut. And while that was okay, I thought it was just a little bit too, how can I put this? A little less user-friendly, basic die cutting machine. So that's when I upgraded to the Gemini Junior. So the Gemini Junior and I did not get along. I don't want to get ugly. All the different, what do you call it? The different recipes, if you would, of the sheaths and the plate shims, and it was just too much for me. An ecosystem, like for instance with Apple, I'm an Apple sheep, so I get Apple computers, Apple phones, blah, blah, blah. Well, I guess you could say I'm a Sizzix sheep when it comes to this sort of thing. So I have all the shims, the magnetic platform, I've got the short platform, the long platform, and I've got all of those old Biggs dies also. And so I just decided to go back to Sizzix and get the Vagabond 2. So here I'm just getting my act together. I have not had this Vagabond 2 out for over a year. It's a really cute design. It's a briefcase, which I really love because I love old things. But unfortunately, I couldn't figure out how to use it at first, but that's okay. I figured it out eventually. It's all right, and it worked beautifully. I mean, I just want things to just work. You know how it is? And this die cutting machine just works, and it goes back and forth, and you don't even have to turn it around. And with arthritis in my hands and my shoulders, I have a hard time lifting heavy things, and so having this be so versatile and being able to send it through the other way was really great. Okay, so I'm speeding this up because let's face it, I can talk forever. So now I'm getting out my plates, and I did get to try a trick that I've learned from another YouTube channel, and I'll be darned if I'm going to forget to share it with you. But here's the deal. If you get sheets or a comforter in the store, you're going to get them in a plastic vinyl pouch. I want you to keep that vinyl, and I want you to cut out sheets of it the size of your plates in your Sizzix or whatever die machine you have. And I want you to save those sheets. And this is going to be important because it's going to help you sustain the lives of your plates. This is an amazing hack, and it works. And I proved it doing all of this die cutting. By the way, yes, I am making all the numbers for my clock over again because the glass containing the numbers broke in my hands as I tried to clean it. So you've heard about when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? We're making some today. In the beginning of this video, I have a reference photo of this clock, and I went back and I checked over and over again to make sure that I had the correct colors before I die cut the numbers out. Now the set that I used, that I had these dies from, I had in my stash. And once again, not that I'm emphasizing hoarding, I'm just saying that be very careful when you give something away you're not using, because you might use it for another project altogether. Something that wasn't even meant to be used for that process. I mean, I'm making a clock's numbers. This is a card making stamp set by Stampin' Up, and the name of it is Number of Years. Now, I happen to use the numbers in this set, and I thankfully bought the dies ahead of time. So these are the numbers and dies that come from this Number of Years Stampin' Up set. Now, I haven't used this set one time. Well, no, twice for 2 birthday cards. But you know what? Clearly, I thought that maybe I would be able to just make some more space and just, I could sell it on eBay for a pretty penny. But I didn't. I kept it. And you know what? Now it's being used to make a clock face. So I'm just saying, just be really careful. Okay, so enough of my ranting about don't destash things too unwisely or too quickly because you might be able to use it again. So the recipe using the packaging from a quilt or a sheet set goes like this. You're going to put the cardstock down on the plate, the bottom plate, and then you're going to put the cutting dies facing down towards the cardstock. Then you're going to put the piece of vinyl that you've trimmed down to fit the mat or the plate, and then you're going to put the top plate on top of the vinyl sheet. Now I had to cut all of the numbers again. Now I had to make 30 cuts with these thin rule dies, and my plates turned out fabulous. They were not warped. They actually turned out super, super flat, and I really give the credit for this hack. I tried to go in my history to try to find the website or the YouTube channel where I got it from, and I'm going to keep looking, but I couldn't find it in time for this video. So you can see the set, number of years by Stampin' Up! Sitting off to the right. I just wanted to take a moment to clarify this hack that I had found on a YouTube channel that I still cannot find, but I am going to post it as soon as I do, and if I don't, please remind me. I wanted to be more clear about how the hack using vinyl from buying, I don't know, some sheets or some comforter, and it comes in that, that vinyl sack, and you want to keep those, and you want to trim them down to the plate size that you're using. So I'm using standard Sizzix plates right here. So you can see, before I was using the vinyl tip, it got a little warped, just a little bit right here. But that's okay, I didn't want them to get worse. So today I want to show you exactly how to use this hack, step by step. So I'm going to bring in my Sizzix platform here. And this is for thinlits dies, and we're going to be, or framelits dies, or triplets dies. I don't have those. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So now we have, this is it. This is the vinyl from the packaging. And I'm going to lay it on the platform. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutting plate. This is the one that's got all the different cutting and all the yuck. And I'm going to put that down right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get paper and put that paper down here. And then I'm going to take my thinlits dies, cutting edge, this is the cutting edge, facing down. Then I'm going to put the vinyl, the other piece of vinyl, down like this. And then I'm going to take this other pad, this is another one of the pads for the Sizzix standard die, and then we're going to place that on top of there. And then you'll just send it through. So it's in reverse, plate, salvage piece of vinyl from your packaging, thinlit die or whatever die you're going to be using, piece of paper, standard cutting plate by Sizzix or whatever your cutting machine cutting plates are, piece of vinyl from your packaging, and your multi-purpose platform or platform that you use with the machine that you have. There you are. There it is. And it works beautifully. One more thing. I put a piece of washi tape on each piece of vinyl so they're easier to see. Now that's thinking. And I'm making those 30 cuts. Took a while. But hey, this clock meant something to me. I've had it for a really long time. You know I love Hello Kitty. There's a stamp set. Number of years from Stampin' Up! And I'm all done with that. And my Vagabond 2 worked perfectly. So now I had to get all the numbers together, and I had to glue them and make them nice and thick. It's kind of like I put two pieces of cardstock together to make it kind of a little bit more rigidy. And then I used Nuvo Adhesive, which is really good adhesive. And then it all came down to making my clock. Now, it doesn't turn out perfectly because the numbers on the glass were much smaller, and unfortunately I didn't have the dies for smaller numbers. But you know what? It's good enough for me. I was able to turn a tragedy into a victory, and to me, in my lifetime, that is a win that I'll never turn away. So here you see me gluing in all my numbers, a little cramped at the 10, 11, and 12, but hey, like I said, good enough for me. So now what you see here is I'm using duct tape, Hello Kitty of course, and I'm adhering it to the back of the plate because the glue is not quite dry over those screw holes inside. And I just wanted to give it just a little bit more support, again, because I don't have that front placement of the shield, the glass shield, to keep it from jiggling around in there. So you know, of course, I had to use duct tape that was Hello Kitty. If I'm not anything, I'm consistent. So this was a little bit of a pickle. It was kind of hard to line up the little screws with the proper holes. It took me a second, but I got it. And I adjusted the time. Made sure my battery was in. And yeah, it worked perfectly. So thrilled with how it turned out, and I'm so thankful for all of you who are here. Remember to check out my last video. March 12th is the day.